My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Genes are passed on from family members. I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
That's Nazi propaganda. Wow.
But it's still really shocking. Like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman.
Pure Nazi shit.
Yep, that got me too. And I don't know why.
You are crying in bed over an ad about jeans.
Hey, you want to go to American Eagle?
Oh, I can't go in there because I'm black.
It's such a shame how much woke people hate hot people. So apparently people think Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle are fascists. Are they? Let's find out. Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle campaign sparks intense criticism. Many people have criticized the tagline of the actor's campaign. Naturally, when anyone cries fascist these days, I approach it with extreme skepticism, as I've now come to approach anything like homophobia, racism, xenophobia. You know, it's quite a shame really that these terms have been so diluted. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what Sydney Sweeney did.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
Wow. Can you believe that this has caused such an explosion across the internet over the past week? So it's undeniable that she looks amazing. She's a very attractive young woman. And since I saw The Handmaid's Tale back in 2017 or whatever she was in it, I was very much drawn to her as an actress. I really, really like her. I've seen White Lotus as well. And you know, there's a lot of theories out there about Sydney Sweeney being anti-woke. I'm pretty sure she was pictured with family members that had Make America Great Again hat or something like that. So I'm sure she knows exactly what we're doing. But isn't it crazy how far the dial has moved? Because in the 90s, this would have just been seen as an edgy, eye-catching ad featuring a hot model, which is what we were all used to, right? But now it's some sort of propaganda, it's some sort of emergency situation. It's so harmful. It's a shame, really, because we should still be allowed to appreciate human attractiveness, right? Let's check out this other clip.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
She's really good looking. The voice she's doing is funny though. Genes are passed on from family members. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. See, this just would have been typical girl next door kind of thing.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Just a few years ago. So honestly, she does have great genes. She has both great genes and she has both great genes. And you know, it is still true that there's such a thing as human attractiveness. The whole symmetrical face thing. There are, on average, features of the human body which, on average, people find more attractive than others, right? We have eyes. But the progressive movement, you know, along with all the other biological denialism they have over trans, or just objective truth that they're trying to deny about the whole world, that goes hand in hand with beauty and attractiveness. You know, there's no such thing as beauty anymore unless it's the right kind of beauty, right? Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying this video. I just want to take a quick second to invite you to subscribe to my channel. I know a lot of you watch my content avidly but are not subscribed, so if you hit that button, it's totally free. You will help push my video out to as many people as possible. And if you haven't yet, while you're at it, like the video. You know you want to. And with that said, let's get back into it. But many woke media outlets, such as the Washington Post here, were highly critical of Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle. How American Eagle's Sydney Sweeney Good Jeans ad went wrong. Provocative new denim campaign featuring the actress leans into retro sexiness. Retro, yeah, okay. And it's sparking debate about eugenics and wokeness. So eugenics, wow. That is a very, very strong term, right? And luckily, we have some TikToks here of people trying to back up these claims. So let's see if they have a point.
You guys are complaining about that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, so I went and saw it.
That's Nazi propaganda. Wow. I thought
You know, we have to say, why do they always have a look? I'm just going to say that. So I'm going to say you can make your own mind up. The camera angle, could you not even just point it up like this and then showing us your nostrils? Nazi propaganda because it's an ad about jeans and she says she has good jeans because she's hot. Don't think so.
it was gonna be like kind of bad. That's gonna be in history book.
I mean, this whole era is going to be in the history books for how insane the West has gone. Okay, look at this next one. So again, we have the septum piercing. You know, you probably remember I used to have one. And the Pride Progress flag in the background, what do you know? So let's see what they, them has to say.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird. Would we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
I mean, do you care to explain why it's fascist Nazi propaganda? You know, these are pretty serious allegations, but that is what they're all about, the wokies, right? Throwing out the most extreme accusations of people and then having no reason to back it up because their whole life is about controlling people's speech and controlling what other people do.
But it's still really shocking. Like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman.
God forbid the blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman, you know? I thought the new term was global majority, right? So by that view, we should be happy to have a minority on TV and have a blue-eyed, blonde, white woman advertising jeans, right? Because she's now a global minority. So you need to stand up for the minorities.
Is talking about her good genes. Like, that
Good
is
genes.
Nazi propaganda.
If you haven't fully comprehended how bad it is,
Just because you can acknowledge that some people are more attractive than others, and that is linked to your DNA, and some people are lucky, does not equate to the ethnic cleansing of 6 million Jewish people across Europe, right? She's not advocating for the ethnic cleansing of anyone who doesn't look like her. But you guys are, apparently.
I need you to open your fucking eyeballs and listen. This is Nazi shit. Pure Nazi shit. Saying that a blonde hair, blue-eyed girl has good genes is Nazi shit. Saying anybody has good genes.
But if it was a black woman, do you think anyone would care? In fact, it would be celebrated everywhere, wouldn't it? The big, black, beautiful gene, I think so.
Is eugenics. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, Nazi shit. This pro-Americana bullshit.
No, there is attractiveness, which in general, people are attracted to. And I get it. People are attracted to all sorts of shit, you know? You might be attracted to obese people, which is fine, you know? Do whatever you want in the bedroom. But it's undeniable that there is a look, there is a symmetry, there is a body type, which a lot of people find attractive. And I don't know why they're freaking out over this just because they say jeans, because you look at any Hollywood movie and the majority of the people in it are like Sydney Sweeney and most of them are pretty good looking. But just because she acknowledges I'm good looking, that's the problem.
Talking about pure Americans having good genes. This is Nazi shit that people, especially Jews, have been warning about for a very long time. Oh, it's not that
I can't assume anything about this woman, but, you know, when it suits them, they'll be all about the Jews, right? Until anyone talks about Israel.
big of a deal. Jeans is just a play on jeans. Shut the fuck up. This is Nazi shit.
Sydney Sweeney's jeans ad is giving.
God, I just can never get over how privileged all of these people are, you know, to use one of their own terms, privilege, that the most they have to worry about that day is making a TikTok about a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white actress making an ad about denim jeans, right? They're not at risk of war, starvation. They probably have a job. They're stable. Life isn't too bad, but they make their lives miserable. They are miserable people. All right, here's Pippi Longstockings, apparently.
Giving ethnic state propaganda. It is giving dystopian. It is giving 1940s Germany.
You mentioned dystopian, right? Well, all these people need to do really is look in the mirror. Their side is the one arguing for sterilizing and mutilating children in the name of trans, right? That's far more closer to Nazi experimentation that went on in the concentration camps than genes, I would say. And also all the anti-Semitic stuff coming out as well, and the biases against Israelis is also closer to Nazism than this. Do you guys agree?
And they could have had her said anything. She could have just said, I'm hot, drink my bathwater, here are my genes. But instead they had her say genes are passed down from parents to children.
Which they are. But you guys don't understand biology because you think men can become women. So why would you believe in genes anyway?
I have good genes. My genes are blue. Why? Yeah, no, that was like the most thinly veiled propaganda I think that I've ever seen. I hate it.
Yep, that got me too. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so blatant. I keep thinking that people just are not gonna believe us until we're hung out.
So it says, it's disheartening. I really don't think they truly want to get it. I saw that Sydney Sweeney stuff today and got tired. Oh, you got tired? Why don't you take a nap?
Out there, but then even then, I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with.
Like, you are crying in bed over an ad about jeans, trying to make it something about you, I assume.
I see the same perpetual self-imposed victimhood. You know, I did a post about saying, hey, like, these are the action steps that we really need to see.
So this one says, I'm numb at this point. I can't even be angry or sad anymore. I'm infuriated. I'm irritated. No one will do anything. And the most we'll get is fake apologies. I mean, she says perpetual victimhood, right? So, again, I think they just need to look in the mirror, these people, right?
From the good whites.
The good whites. Why are they allowed to be so racist? You know, not fair.
Where I said I need protection. Put my cash out. And she goes, well, would you just rather white women just not follow you at all anymore? Because da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, definitely unfollow me. If you thought you being here and clicking a follow button was doing me a favor, same as that one guy. He's like, well, Lindsay still does a good job and I appreciate her work and labor, so I'm going to still follow her. No, definitely unfollow me. If you are any type of person, but especially a white woman who's coming to this platform thinking you're doing me a favor by clicking a follow button, leave now.
Oh my God, someone needs to give these people a kick up the ass, not inciting violence, making a joke, and tell them to get over themselves. When are we as a society going to have the conversation that Black supremacy or non-white supremacy is just commonplace and everywhere we look, right? If you use your race as a reason to tell people that they need to behave differently around you and they need to unequivocally support you and just following your account is not enough for me, then it sounds pretty supremacist to me, right? You know, why does she need our protection? You know, she's just sitting in her bedroom on TikTok. She seems pretty safe.
Immediately now. Because honey boo boo, not this person, I'm doing you a favor by showing up and calling you out.
That wasn't even very coherent, to be honest. But, you know, it's just a shame how much woke people hate hot people.
Hey, you want to go to American Eagle?
Oh, I can't go in there because I'm black.
With some of these, you're not sure how much of it is satire and how much of it is semi-belief, but it's mainly just all opportunism that these people come online because they want to get attention, right? And it's the same with this woman, and she's a really beautiful woman. She could just own that instead of playing the constant victim in this game just because a white woman, God forbid, did an ad about jeans. I'm wearing jeans right now. You probably can't see them. It's a shame that for all the great things the woke movement has going for them is that they need to despise hot people so much. You know, it's one of the joys in life is finding people attractive and celebrating beauty. And, you know, we may not all be as lucky, but it is a beautiful thing. And Sydney Watson said this very well. She said, normally I don't like equating retarded female reactions to jealousy, but I do think that's what underpins this bizarre anti-Sydney Sweeney campaign being waged by objectively unattractive women. She said it, not me. Hot women in advertising is not a Nazi dog whistle. There's no logical reason to think it is. I think this response is representative of non-cute women being mad that the ugliness that has had a cultural stranglehold for the last decade is indeed over. Well, she's on to something there. And naturally, they made this about race, right? So MSNBC said, Sydney Sweeney's ad shows an unbridled cultural shift towards whiteness. Advertisements are always mirrors of society, and sometimes what they reflect is ugly and startling. reflecting? Well, no. What the ad is reflecting is someone beautiful. And God, I'm so sick of hearing the word whiteness. It's just the ness that really bothers me. I just think we can do away with that. So they quoted some tweets that people were putting out. And one said, "This is what happens when you have no people of color in a room, particularly in a time like this. This ad campaign got so caught up in this clever play on words and this stunt. The people in the room missed what was so blatantly obvious to anyone not white." So again, we have race supremacy coming in here, because what they're saying is a white person isn't allowed in an ad unless there's a black person there as well, or unless there's a white non-white person there. I mean, doesn't that sound familiar? You think about Hairspray, the nicest kids in town, they would have once a month, we have our Negro Day. They let them come in as long as the other white people were the main show. And that's exactly what these guys are still advocating for. Like, fuck off, get a job, get a life, get a pair of jeans. That's what I'm saying. This one says, "Sydney Sweeney is a great example of white supremacy being the only way a lot of people derive self-esteem." I mean, despite being a famous actress and in many TV shows and movies. She starred in 2 shows where she played the less hot friend to a dark-haired and brown-skinned woman and tried to steal their man for validation in both shows. Yeah, it's called auditioning for a part and being given it and doing your job, which is what you guys probably aren't very good at. The phrases good genes and great genes have historically been used in the language of eugenistics, who believe the human race can be improved genetically by selective breeding. The term is often used to celebrate thinness, attractiveness, and whiteness, of course. There's definitely been promo over the last few years of certain other body types, you know, but of course we're not allowed to say anything about that. And if there were a case of eugenics, maybe it would be nice if in the future we did not have an insufferable group in society who had to take a problem with absolutely everything instead of acknowledging how lucky we are in the West to be free, mostly, and pursue careers and do what we want and marry freely. I mean, wouldn't it be so great if there was a general sense of optimism? I know that the economy is shit and there's war in the world, but there's so many things we can be grateful for at the same time. I just find it so sad how no one is teaching these people to have some basic gratitude, because that is what we all deserve to give ourselves in life. Doja Cat jumped in on this too. So she said,
"Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue."
Well, you know, she's making fun of it, and I can't claim to know her opinions on what she actually thinks. You know, all of this to me is just reeking of jealousy from people. No one can deny that she isn't hot, right? And that's what it comes down to, really. And has it worked? It has. Because the woke movement has so strongly infiltrated all of our institutions, we got to a point where now it's actually the thing to celebrate obesity in ads, such as this Calvin Klein one. And I think there was something about the one on the right being a trans man or something, of course. That was the new thing to advertise. And that was supposed to make me want to buy Calvin Klein underwear. And also, for some reason, we have rightly condemned the past use of models who are anorexic, or at least borderline anorexic, and substituted it for morbidly obese models who tell you to just be positive about your body and just love yourself and do nothing about it, because to acknowledge otherwise would be to actually have to take responsibility for your own health. And it's easier just to put this back on society and say, if you're not attracted to me, it's because you have some inherent prejudice and phobia. In this billboard, I speak my truth in my Calvin Klein's. Oh, my truth, right? Sounds like Nazi propaganda to me. And this tweeter said, "The same people that hate Sydney Sweeney ad loved the Jaguar ad that killed 98% of their business. America is not woke." And a lot of you probably remember this very strange ad. I mean, I think it was overblown. I'm not sure if I'd agree that it was just woke. It was just very kind of weirdly postmodernist art, right? But it wasn't necessarily advocating for transition or, you know, talking about climate change or whatever. But it was pretty cringe. Even though this has come under immense scrutiny, they probably knew exactly what they were doing, because sales are taking off. Shortly after the campaign announced, American Eagle stock jumped 10%, adding about $200 million to the group's value, a godsend for a brand that has had a disastrous year on the stock market. And it's good to see some companies just being brave enough to do this, because so many of them have had this in their power for a long time. But you saw how America rejected the Democrats and rejected the woke liberal elite class, who are sort of minority. Even Democrat voters hate a lot of this shit. And you have some companies being bold now and saying, wait, we're actually going to do something that sells and people may appreciate it. And And we still have these loud minority voices shouting people down. And while you may not tell your friend, I had seen nothing wrong with the ad, you're probably still going to waltz off to American Eagle early in the morning before the wokies get up and get your pair of those jeans. So isn't it interesting how powerful the woke movement has been, that in a capitalist system such as America, they have got companies to do things which have been directly against their interest and shareholder value. Have you seen what's happened with Disney's share price since they make every movie some sort of political agenda? It's not working, but they keep doing it. And the Democrats have not learned. They just keep going down this fascist, Nazi, obsessed with race train. And until they take a step back and really reflect on what they've done wrong, they're not coming back. And you are just guaranteeing another Republican president. Isn't it interesting, everyone, how we slowly, taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, move towards this post-woke era in which people are being brave enough to actually say, hey, let's celebrate a hot white woman. Let's do that. Well, we can still celebrate all the rest. And the elitists are going crazy. I'm here to sit back and enjoy watching the meltdowns with all of you. God knows what I'm going to do when people are more optimistic in the world. Maybe I should be careful of what I wish for. Let me know what you guys thought. I'd be surprised if any of my audience are on the pro-eugenics fascist argument side. But if you do have legitimate criticisms of this, I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. And with that said, I will see you soon for another video. Bye. Genes are passed on by family members, including eye color, hair color, and personality. I have good genes. Sydney Sweeney has...